Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate. This is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and today I have a whip and chat for you guys, hopefully. I'm feeling a little like I don't have too much to talk about this time, but I thought I'd try and see if I could get this out on time. I am working on Stargazing by Maddie Arts from Diamond Art Club. And I'm on the right hand side of the image, kind of coming up towards the top over here. And I've already started this section, so I'm just going to continue it and see how far we get. I might finish it up while we're chatting and move on to the next one. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week. I just got out of a game night in Sophie's Discord, which I'll try to remember to link below in case you guys haven't joined and you'd like to. We have a lot of fun over there, so the more the merrier. I am using a pen from Butterfly Effect Wares, and my tray is from Unimade. Anyway, so I guess I'll just get started chatting. It is Saturday night around 11:30 p.m. and I just made a late night snack for my son and my nephew. My nephew is spending the night. He also spent the night last night, so they're making a weekend out of it, and it's great because I love it when I love that they're so close as cousins. And Casey doesn't hang out with a lot of friends, so whenever he can get some friend time in, I'm happy. Game night was really fun. We played Jackbox games, and my favorite is the Trivia Murder Party one, and we did get to play that one tonight, so I was happy because that one's the best. It's so funny. But we also really like playing the one where you design t-shirts and you draw a bunch of different things and then you come up with a bunch of different slogans and you have to stick a couple of random slogans with a couple random drawings and make a fun t-shirt out of it. And that one's really fun. And last time we played that, Charmaine from the server actually bought, because you can go to the Jackbox store and buy the shirts that you made during the game. And Charmaine actually bought one, and it was really funny. When she got it, she put it on and took a picture for us, and it was epic. This time, though, unfortunately, when we played that game, none of the shirt artworks would show up in the shop, so we didn't even get to, browse and see if there was one we wanted to buy because it wasn't displaying, which kind of sucked. Because there were some really funny ones this time. Definitely not safe for work, but really funny. I think we're going to finish this section pretty quick. After that, I went to see what my husband was doing, and we watched an episode, the first episode of the show, The Artful Dodger. And I'm not sure if he's gonna like it. Right now it kind of feels like a mix between Sherlock Holmes, just the feel of it, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Obviously with different content, but that style of feeling. But it's a little bit graphic. It has a lot of surgery in it so far. And my husband doesn't do well with graphic. And depending on the type of graphic, I don't always either. But this isn't the kind that bothers me so far. So, I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. It's a little bit slow, but I think it'll pick up speed. They kind of have to, go through and introduce everything and all that with the first episode. So, we'll see how many episodes he gets through with me. Speaking of, I still need to watch the rest of the 3-Body Problem. I did watch a few more episodes since my husband stopped watching it. That was actually what I was watching week before last when all the lights started flickering in our house at the same time, and they were all flickering the same way. It was like really weird. I've never seen that happen before, and I was thinking it might be like a storm, a windstorm, but I looked outside and it wasn't that windy. And if you watched my vlog, you know what happened, but I forgot to talk about it in last week's WIP and chat. And basically it was a blown transformer in our neighborhood that was actually like spitting flame and crackling and stuff. And it had set the grass and trees and bushes on fire that were around it. And so the fire department had to come and put that out, and then they fixed the transformer. But yeah, it was weird because it was like a green color, a green electricity color, which I've always pictured electrical things as sparking blue, but it was green. It's kind of weird. Green flames. So I got interrupted in the middle of watching one of the 3 Body Problem episodes, and after all the excitement, I never went back to it that night, and I haven't sat down to watch any more TV by myself since then. So I need to get back to that show so I can finish it. Because I'm interested in it. It is a little bit slow, so I see why my husband didn't want to finish it, but I wish there was more to do with like the VR game that they play in there, because that part's really cool. And the book, I feel like, had a little bit more of that than the show has so far. But the show is kind of jumping forward in the story. Like basically everything that happened in the book has already happened in the show, and I'm about halfway through the episodes, I think. So I am not sure what's going to happen next, because I read the first book, but I didn't read any of the other ones. So it'll all be new to me. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the other books in that series. It was interesting reading the first one, but it's written in a different style than I prefer to read. And lately I've just been in the mood for something a little more personable. Like, my biggest problem with that book was that you kind of didn't feel like you were getting close to the characters at all or learning much about the characters. It was much more about the things that were actually happening and less about the characters themselves, which I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not what I prefer when I'm reading a story. So anyway, I actually just finished a book last night, and it was the second book in the Dragonheart Legacy by Nora Roberts. I'd finished the first one a couple months ago, I think March or something, and really enjoyed the first one. And I was in the mood for something just real laid back and good, feel good, you know? And this really hit the spot. It was such a great story for book 2. And I do want to read book 3 soon, but I recently found out that one of the Brandon Sanderson books that I haven't read yet, because it's a graphic novel, it has a graphic audio version, and for some reason right now on Audible, that is free to download into your library and listen to. So I've downloaded it, and now that I finished that Nora Roberts book, I'm gonna start listening to that. I don't know if it runs out at like the end of July, so I gotta hurry. It's actually split into 3 separate parts, and I think the first part is only like 5 hours long. I think they're all about like that, and I listen on ×2 speed usually, so it won't take me too long to get through them, but I can't like dilly-dally because it's already the 27th right now, and so we're almost out of time and I don't know if it ends at the end of July, but that's what I'm assuming. I wish it would tell me somewhere in there, but I haven't seen a thing telling me. But yeah, anyway, I really liked that Nora Roberts book, and I highly recommend it if you don't mind. Like, the one thing I'd say about it is that the main character is kind of a Mary Sue. She doesn't have a whole lot of faults other than not believing in herself enough, especially towards the beginning of the story, and like constantly underestimating herself, which, you know, gets less and less as the story progresses. But there aren't a lot of, like, all the good guy characters tend to have pretty much very few flaws, and I don't mind it. Especially if I'm looking for just like a laid back thing to read. I don't mind having a Mary Sue main character, and having just a feel good story where all the characters treat each other well for the most part, you know. Like, the love interest has kind of a gruff, kind of short temper, but not in a mean way, just like doesn't think about how terse his words are sometimes. But other than that, he's kind of like, he doesn't have too many flaws either. So, I don't know. I don't need my characters to have flaws as long as the story is interesting. But I know that some people really prefer characters that are very dynamic and have some things to overcome, and do that through the course of the book. Like, internal things. They have external things that they work on overcoming during the series. But internally, not many flaws. So that's the one thing I would say. But other than that, it's got everything that I wanted at the time. It has animals and dragons and just like really good relationships between friends and family members, most of the family members. And I love that kind of stuff, just like idealized relationships, as if you had best friends who were always loyal and family who always had your back and that kind of stuff. I just enjoy reading stories like that. And, you know, found family and stuff. Not only that, but there's also like a magical world where you can travel from the real world to that world, and that always reminds me of the Chronicles of Narnia, which I grew up with and was like the first fantasy series I fell in love with, and probably what got me into loving fantasy in the first place. So having a story kind of remind me of that aspect of those books was nostalgic for me. So I will want to read the 3rd book of that series pretty soon. I just need to get these other, this graphic novel dramatization read first before it leaves my library at some point in the future. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else I did this week, because it was kind of just a slow week and I mostly just worked. Although on Friday I did go visit my friend Jessica, and we watched The Mummy because she had never seen it, and I just feel like that's a movie everyone should see. It's a classic at this point, you know. And we had a good time. We ordered some food delivery, and I brought my mini dazzle set that I was working on, and I was able to like just give her one of those to work on. And she actually finished hers while we were watching the movie, so that was pretty cool because I didn't finish mine. I was too slow. I came home and finished it later. So she'll be keeping that one, and I'll have the other 5 to show you guys when I do my like month in review video, although I might not have all 5 done. I've done 3 of them, so I have 2 more to do, and I'm not sure when I'm going to work on them. And we're getting towards the end of the month, so I don't have that much more time left to get them done. I probably won't count up. I'll probably count it as a WIP if I don't finish all of them. I'll just, if there's a mini dazzle set I'm doing, I'll just count the whole set as one finish probably. So I'm really enjoying working on the mini dazzle sets though. They're fun little projects to do in between working on my bigger pieces. And it's nice to like get a finish every once in a while, like a really quick finish, instead of working for multiple months on the same canvas, you know? Which I love that too, but it's also nice to have the satisfaction of a finish once in a while. Because I'm a pretty slow diamond painter. Like, not when I'm actually diamond painting. I feel like I diamond paint pretty, like, at a pretty good pace. But I don't get to diamond paint as often as I would like, so that's why I finish things kind of slowly. But I am loving this kit. It's mostly just color blocking. Sorry, I bumped the camera, so it might not look the same. It's mostly just color blocking, but that makes it go really fast. Even though I haven't rolled this one as much, if you're new, I really like to use this website called wheelofnames.com to pick my next section and my next WIP. So like every time I finish a section in a diamond painting, I spin the wheel to see which WIP to work on next, and then I do a section of that, and then I spin again. And lately, it's been spinning Rose Library like multiple times in a row, which is kind of nice because that's my oldest WIP at this point, and so it's nice to make progress on it. But I did get several sections of that done recently because that's what it kept rolling. So it was a nice break to come over to this one and get to work on it for a while. And then it rolled this one, I think, 2 or 3 times in a row. So I currently don't have my mini dazzle set on my spinny wheel. I just kind of do one when I'm in the mood to. But I am considering, since I have a few sets now, I'm considering just adding mini dazzle set to my spinny wheel, and then whenever it rolls that, I can work on one of those. So I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, we had a lot of fun watching the mummy and diamond painting, and then I got to play with her little doxy named Richard, and he is so sweet and cute, and I love him. And we had fun playing fetch and tug-of-war and cuddling. He's so cute. Other than that, I don't think I did much else this week. I am like racking my brain to try and think of anything interesting I can tell you, but I mostly spent the time working and diamond painting. I did do a little bit of drawing in my sketchbook. I worked on a spread that I've been working on for, like, I started it a couple years ago, and I was working on it with acrylic paint markers, but my paint markers kind of weren't opaque enough to cover the background that I put down. But if you watched my recent vlog, you'll have seen that I got a new set of acrylic paint markers that are opaque enough to cover that background. And so I've been working on it again. And basically it's like one half of the page is blue and the other half of the page is orange. And on the blue half, I've drawn orange Pokemon, and on the orange half, I drew blue Pokemon. And I've just been working on coloring them in now that I have some acrylic markers that will be opaque enough to cover that background. So the other day I have now done all of the Pokemon that are blue, and so I moved on to the orange Pokemon. And so the other day I finished Charmander. And now I just have Pumpkaboo and Flareon left, and that whole spread will be done. And I'm excited because it's one of the only things in my sketchbook that it's like gonna be a finished piece of art instead of just random sketches. And I'm looking forward to having that in there. I am almost done with this section, and then maybe we can spin the wheel together and see what to work on next. Yep, that's it. All right, this is the satisfying part. Oh, I love the perforated cover so much. It's so easy. Okay, so that section's done. This, by the way, this purple color is it's just a big batch of fairy dust, and I love this color. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my spinny wheel on my computer so that I can film it, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so as you can see, I didn't like it when it was just 3 selections because it looked weird. So I just added everything in here twice. So we have Stargazing, Mini Dazzles, and Rose Library. And let's see what we get. Ooh, I guess we'll be doing a Mini Dazzles. Okay, so I've been working on the Wonders of Nature Part 1 set. So far I've done this ocean one, and the cherry blossom path, and then this cool like tropical one. And so now I can choose between these two. So this is like a jungle, and then this one is like a desert oasis. So I think let's do the desert oasis one. I've already kitted up as I went, so I don't have any of the stickers left over here, but I keep this behind these so I can see which kit it is. So let me clear the rest of these out. Well guys, I'm not sure what happened, but basically at some point my camera stopped recording, and I don't know when it was. So I don't know what to do with the footage at this point. I think I might film some more of this process of me working on this mini dazzle, and then luckily I record my voiceover separately, so I still have what I was saying, but I don't have the footage to go with it that was happening while I was talking. So maybe I'll just record me finishing this mini dazzle and do a voiceover for like the rest of the footage. I don't know, it was really weird. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'll start with H, I think. I haven't kitted up all of the bags of each color. Just as I've been going, if I've needed more, I kitted up more. So I might have to open more bags as we go. We'll see. Anyway, so coming up here pretty soon, my 2 older kiddos who currently roommate together are both moving to new apartments, separate apartments, and one is moving next week and the other one's moving the week after that. So I will hopefully be going down there probably the week after next to help them move. Luckily, they both have access to their old apartment for all of the month of August. So it's not like an urgent, gotta be moving in while we're moving out, and end of the day, we gotta turn in the keys kind of thing. It's more of a leisurely, take your time kind of thing, which is nice. And I'm excited to see their new places because I haven't seen them yet. But I'm the one that has the biggest car, so hopefully what I have will be enough for most of the big furniture. Because luckily they don't have a lot of big furniture. Like for instance, the couch that they're currently using it belongs to the apartment complex where they're renting. Like it was a furnished apartment when they moved in. So they don't have to worry about moving that, which is nice. But yeah, I'm really excited to see them because I feel like it's been a long time, even though I did just see Fletcher like the week before last. But especially with Sam, I feel like it's been a while since I saw her. And I miss them as always. And I've just been feeling lately like we haven't talked as much as we usually do, so I'm feeling extra like I'm missing them. So yeah, looking forward to that. Apparently there's a Pride event going on in Eugene on August 10th, which is interesting. I didn't know that was happening, and it's kind of weird that it's not during the regular Pride month, but Sam is going to that and invited me along. So I might go down there that day too, which is not one of the days when they'll be moving, but maybe, we could get some moving in if there's still any to do by that point. And then, I don't know what else. Casey has been in his room a lot still, but every time we go do something together, it's kind of fun. We talk a lot about books and stuff, so we always get into these deep conversations about stories, and so I love when that happens and we can kind of nerd out together. I'm just really sad that for the convention that he's not allowed to go to that thing that's called an experiential novella that I talked about last week, because it's 18 plus. And I think he'd really like it because he loves those books. But, of course, that said, I don't even know if we're going to be able to go. It just depends on if we can be able to grab tickets. Because I'm sure it's going to be a popular event. And they're doing it for, I think, 3 of the nights of the convention. So they're having 3 performances of it. I don't know if you'd call it a performance or what, but so hopefully there'll be enough room for everyone who wants to go, but I don't know if there will be or not. There we go, that's better. Okay. I just keep thinking about how cool that sounds. Almost like you're in a movie or in the book. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, hoping we can get tickets, but sad that Casey won't be able to go, and feeling pretty conflicted about that because it feels weird to be going to this convention, the 4 of us, and then 3 of us go off and do something and leave the youngest one by himself. And I know he's 15 and he's old enough to be by himself. That's not the issue. It's just weird to be doing an activity and leaving one of our party out by themselves, you know? So I don't know what to do about that, because it's like a one in a lifetime kind of opportunity. And he says he doesn't mind, but I do mind. But at the same time, like, my other kids want to go. I mean, maybe what I should do is just let the two older kids go and stay with Casey. I don't know. So that's all been going through my mind. I'd really like to experience the cool thing, but I don't want to, like, just leave Casey out. So even if he says he's fine with it, I don't know. I'm struggling with it, you guys. What would you do? Genuinely, tell me what you do. I'm curious. I have also just been, I think I've mentioned this before a couple of times, but the urge to write has been coming back to me more and more recently. And I have a new story idea that popped into my brain, and I'm like itching to sit down and try to write it, even though I haven't written anything in quite a while. And I don't know. I feel like it's just something I would start and never finish. And so should I spend the time starting it when I know I'm probably never going to finish it, and it would just be a waste of time when I already have lots of other things that I'm doing? I don't know. But the urge to do it isn't going away. So that's kind of been on my brain too, because I've always wanted to write a novel, and I have several novel ideas like rolling around in my brain, and I'm great at starting them, but I'm not very good at finishing them. And I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those goals that will just never happen for me. I know it'll never happen if I don't sit down and start doing the writing, but it's a question of, do I have enough time to put the time into that? You know what I mean? Or do I want to make the time for that when I have so many other things going on? And I don't know the answer. But I'm really proud of Fletcher, because he also wants to be a writer, and he has finished a whole book, which I think I've talked about here before, and has an outline done for a sci-fi fantasy trilogy that he wants to write. And he's currently doing a really cool project where he's got this Discord server, and he's writing basically a choose your own adventure story, and everyone in the server gets to vote weekly on the next storyline. So he'll write a little bit of the story and then post it, and then it's got a few choices that everybody can choose between, and then whatever is voted is what happens for the next part of the story. And it is so fun. I have been loving that, but I also grew up reading choose your own adventure stories like they were going out of style. I absolutely loved them. I'm having a really fun time in that server with the story that Fletcher's writing. And it's kind of like a fantasy story so far. I think we've done 3 or 4 weeks of it. And so there's a new bit of the story every week. And then there's a period of time where people are allowed to vote. And then the votes close, and the next week, the next part of the story goes up. So if you are interested in joining in on that, it's an open Discord server. So I will put the link below. There currently isn't any voting open, but he will be posting the next, like, you can get caught up with the story, and then he'll be posting the next one next week for people to vote on. So if you want to interact with a choose your own adventure story that's still in the process of being written, I'll leave that link below if I remember. That said, guys, I think all I have to talk about for the rest of the time is our yay or nay section. So last week's question was, do you have or want any tattoos? Yay or nay? And this time, another surprising one for me. It was 13-3 with the yays winning. So yeah, 13 of you either have or want tattoos, and only 3 of you said no. As for me, I do have 2. I have one that you probably have seen if you've watched my videos. It's on my, like, the inner part of my forearm. And it's a peony flower that says La Mère. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation because it's French, but it basically means the mother. And it's written in my oldest's handwriting. And then she has a matching tattoo also on her inner part of her forearm that says La Fille, the daughter. And that one's in my handwriting. And the peonies were actually drawn by Sonia Stegeman, who you might recognize as she released the artwork The Office with Diamond Art Club that I purchased recently. It came out in June, like during Pride Month. And there were a couple of her images in the most recent round of voting too. But she is, I'd consider her an artist friend of mine, and she does amazing artwork. And I'm so honored to have some of her artwork as a tattoo. So yeah, that one's very special to me. And then my other tattoo is in a place no one can see, but it is a collection of iconography from some of my favorite stories, including The Lion King and Dear Millie, which is a very beautiful children's book written by Maurice Sendak, and The Chronicles of Narnia, actually, which we were just talking about earlier. I have the lamppost from that in there. And all of these are coming out of like a book with swirls. And then I put, of course, a Styx quote with them. So it's a quote from a Styx song that says, "If we were granted just 1 minute to choose a dream and stay there in it, how could we decide?" So that one's also very special to me because it has some of my most favorite things and a lot of meaning. But unfortunately, my experience with that one, it was my first tattoo, and I wasn't too happy with how it turned out and how the experience went. And it has made me a little bit hesitant to get more tattoos. And it doesn't help that the second one I got, while I love it too, I don't think was done very well. So basically I just need to make sure and find a tattoo artist who's gonna be reliable in being able to successfully do the designs that I want without messing them up. And the one on my arm isn't messed up per se, it's just really fuzzy, and I feel like, and it has been from the start, so I feel like it wasn't done by someone who had a lot of experience with line work, basically. So anyway, I love my tattoos. I do want more. I wish that the ones that I had turned out the way I'd envisioned them more, I guess. But anyway. So yeah, some of you guys said, Leslie Diamond Paints said, "I'm a yay this week with 3 tattoos. I have some regrets, but they tell a story about me, so it's okay." And yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Battlebug Crafts said, "Yay for tattoos. I don't personally have any, but my bestie keeps sending me TikTok of best friend tattoo ideas, so I feel like that might be happening in the future." That's so awesome. I've seen some really pretty ones on TikTok and Instagram for like bestie tattoos or, mother-daughter or those kind of tattoos, and I love them. I'd love to get like some kind of a book piece or reading tattoo, We'll see. Anyway, Battlebug Crafts continues, and I have some plans for a larger tattoo incorporating a coyote, my favorite animal, and native flowers from the area I'm from. That sounds gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So pretty. Kim Delger says, no tattoos, no plans on getting one. Totally fair. Jackie's Crafty Time says, yeah, I don't have any, but I've always wanted to get one. I have a huge needle phobia that's kept me away, but I've always wanted a cardinal for my grandma and a forget-me-not flower for my best friend that I lost 10 years ago, way too young. That sounds like it'll be a very meaningful one if you ever manage to get over your phobia to get it. I also used to have a needle phobia that got a lot better over time, which is helpful. So I hope that happens to you too, so that you can get the tattoo that you want. Stacy's Diamond Painting says, I actually have 3 tattoos. On the outside of my right ankle, I have a bird surrounded by flowers, and it's a memorial piece for my grandmother. I have one on my upper back and top of my shoulder, a rosary with a butterfly orchid, which is a memorial piece for my grandmothers. I also have one on my chest of a butterfly to cover a scar. I would like to get 2 more, one being a memorial piece for my mom. I also want to get one for my daughter, who is so strong and an inspiration. Holly Hollywood says, I have a tattoo of the red feather in Peter Pan's cap to remind myself never to grow up. And yes, I will acknowledge the irony that getting a tattoo is a very grown-up thing to do. Well, some people would say it's not a very smart thing to do, but I don't agree with those people, so I hear ya. I love that. So for this week's yay or nay question, do you like any food combinations that other people consider strange? And if you feel comfortable, and you do, go ahead and put them in the comments and let us know what they are. So yeah, guys, that's all I had for you this time. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my WIP and chat. I hope you enjoyed it, even though I kind of just rambled this time. I hope you all have a great week. Check out the things that I hopefully remembered to link in the description below that we talked about. And I will DAC you in the next one. Bye, everybody.